Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So today I'll be discussing about an important concept, that's tool use with LLMs, and a little more on that. We'll also see a basic coding demo with the help of Anthropic's Haiku model. So first of all guys, let's try to picture it out that what we are trying to do. So exactly the main problem is that we have LLMs, and let's assume they are good at stuff. Okay, now the thing is, there are a lot of custom operations which are specific to the business and industry you are dealing with. So, for example, let's say you have a database where you have access to some of the services that your company offers, and on the second part of side, you have created a chatbot. Now, the user is asking, the user is asking, can you tell me about, can you tell me about your, let's say we are selling sunscreens. So, can you tell me about your ABC sunscreen? So, now one option is that you have everything in your prompt, which like can work to an extent, but if you are a big organization, this won't work. The second option is RAG. RAG is possibly one of the good solutions, but just try to understand, guys. Here you don't need to apply any sort of similarity algorithm and like get a lot of information and stuff. It is like not a directly a RAG problem, rather than it is a simple search problem into your database, right? You simply want to search about ABC sunscreen in your database, and then based on the relevant response your database gives, it's gonna probably answer your query. So what is exactly happening is, user is asking a question to LLM is doing a query in the database, and the query is sending in the response, and based on the response the LLM is sending back the output to the user. So this is the simple workflow which I want to talk about today. And guys, see, there would be places where every time you might not have access to RAG resources, right? Let's say you don't have access to vector DBs on cloud, or perhaps any reason could come up, guys. Let's say you don't want to have an overhead of RAG, and it's less about, like, this was just an example on the search side. Let's say your company has some formula, your company has some internal formula, right? This is very common, guys. All companies have different types of calculations. Okay, company has an internal formula, and someone, the user, is coming to the chatbot, and then it is asking, can you do something for me, which is very much your own company specific. So in simple terms, what you want is your LLM should use this formula, right, which your company has patented, or it's your company's internal formula which you don't want to leak or store it anywhere. So simply, right, you can just write a function about it in Python, and then this LLM first will call this function and get the response, and based on that response it would help you reply to user. So guys, this is the main funda or the logic that I wanted to discuss specifically about tool use. So guys, this kind of thing is less used, like a lot of people are not using it directly, because often you find out simple alternatives, like a simple basic coding search, right? Let's say whenever a user is asking about a product, you don't tell the LLM to go and query the database. Rather than that, you always query the database. So guys, these type of things you have to decide at an architecture level, that what kind of a system you are designing and what kind of a workflow you need to design so that it best suits your need. It's not that always you need to make systems a little more complicated and little more fancy. I understand that this might look fancy to some people, so we'll look for use cases where every time we can apply it, but try to keep things simple, that's for sure. But if you find that, hey, this is a good use case, so maybe this could work, Okay, now a basic use case is that, let's say you're creating a research assistant and you are not fully convinced with the power of an LLM, because see guys, LLMs have a training cutoff date, right? It's not that there is some live training going on inside the LLM. So you would want, let's say, whenever a user is asking a query, you want the latest Wikipedia snapshot. Latest Wikipedia snapshot. Wikipedia snapshot. So you can just write a function about doing this, and with the help of how I'll be showing you now, you can just tell the LLM to call it, get the latest information, and then just combine the stuff and give the user an output. So this is very important, and in nutshell, the main workflow that you need to know is that whenever user is coming to an LLM, it is asking a question, then what will an LLM do? Either it will directly give the answer, okay, direct answer, or it will perhaps call a tool or a function, okay, and then based on what it will get here, it's gonna give you an answer to the user. So these kind of things are also being explored, and this has been, I guess, like for about 6-8 months a lot of people have explored it, but there is still not like much buzz about it. I think this is a very useful feature, but we need to find the right business use case for it. So maybe people are using simpler stuff which is working for them, but maybe someday you might be equipped to use it. So let's just see that how we can achieve this in Anthropic. So guys, you just need to use any LLM. Everything is just static, and if you use LangChain, I think it would become even more simpler. But for the demo purposes, I'm using Anthropic. So all you need to just do is first do a pip install Anthropic, and then what you need to do is you need to just have your API key dumped over here. So here you can store your API secrets. If you'll just make it tick, your Google notebook Colab notebook would have access to this, and then you can just create a client. And then see guys, this is for demo. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a simple math problem, that wherein what we are doing is that we are just asking that can you multiply these two numbers for us. Okay, now the thing is, it is giving us this response, but this response is actually incorrect. Okay, now why is it incorrect is like out of scope, but the main thing is that it's incorrect, and you might have use cases where you might have to like have some custom calculations which your organization does. Okay, now what you can do is, you can first of all, like, it's a basic thing, you can code up the thing that you want to achieve, right? So here I have like written a simple calculator function which takes three argument: operation, add, subtract, multiply, divide, and operand 1 and operand 2, and what exactly needs to be done. Okay, this is guys very simple. This is not very complicated. This you can do. This would be defined on the business use case, business valuation, or everything on that stuff, that what kind of a function you need to define, so that your LLM has one more SWOT. That means it can call a function or a tool anytime it wants. The next thing is guys, here you need to create a JSON key. This is very important. So this is the most important thing, that you need to define a detailed JSON schema. Okay, here you need to name your tool something, you need to give its description, a proper input schema, what are its properties. And guys, this thing is static. Okay, this is just taken from the documentation. For your own tool you have to define it. Okay, obviously you can use AI assistants like chat GPT or Claude or Meta or Mistral, anything you can use, they will help you get this stuff done. But just try to understand that this name, parameter, description, input schema, operation, type, enum, all these things are static, you need to have them. Okay, the next thing is guys, this is required parameter is also very important, how simple it is to integrate your stuff. Only thing is, you need to just tell Claude about the tool, only respond with the result. So let me just show you the full code, that will make things very clear that how you need to integrate it. See guys, all you need to do is just give it this parameter tools and pass the function that you have defined, and in the system message you can write you have access to tools but only use them when necessary. If a tool is not required, respond as normal. That's it guys. By doing only this much, you can make sure that your LLM has access to tools. So let's just try to run it, and let's just try to see what is exactly happening. So if I run this code, what will happen is, I had 23 chickens but 2 flew away, how many are left? Claude wants to use the calculator tool, calculation result 21. So see guys, it was able to answer 21. Now let's say you are talking about this, write a joke about maths. Here it doesn't supposed to use any tool, right? Claude didn't want to use the tool. Claude responded with joke. Okay, so guys, this is the joke which it responded, but you're able to see, right? This type of systems will be very common. Only thing you need to be worried about is how do you make sure that your function that you're defining over here is very proper, because this is a simple calculator use case, but I think in real search based application this would become more complicated. And then what you need to exactly understand is that how do you make sure that your schema is properly defined, and all you need to do is just pass it into here. Okay, just pass it over here. So guys, this could really like effectively increase the efficiency of an LLM as well. All you need to do is maybe figure out a particular use case for it, and yeah, specifically you can scale this up anywhere, but just try to look for a use case. If you feel that this is a right use case, then only use it, because guys, at times what will happen is that your LLM will just maybe make unnecessary calls on tools, so it would increase inference time, latency, as well as the cost side of things, as well as the compute side of things, and all this is very unnecessary. But just try to look for a business use case which allows the use case for an LLM to simply call a function, and as I shown you, you can just do it simply. Just try to follow along the notebook and documentation. That's it. So on that note, I would like to end this lecture, guys. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and have a great day ahead. Thanks.